I stopped visiting people after turning 70, and I have no regrets. Here are 6 honest reasons why. You know that feeling when you've just spent 3 hours at a social gathering you didn't want to attend, smiling politely while feeling completely drained? If you're over 70 and dreading social visits that once brought you joy, you're not alone. Studies reveal that 68% of seniors experience social fatigue from obligatory visits. But here's the controversial truth that no one really talks about. I stopped making these visits after 70, and it was the best decision of my life. Today, I'll share the 6 reasons why this choice transformed me and why it might transform you too. I know the title sounds harsh, maybe even selfish, but before you scroll away, hear me out. If you've been feeling guilty for skipping family dinners, neighborhood barbecues, or weekly coffee meetups that leave you more tired than happy, this is for you. In this video, I'll share 3 psychological benefits that gave me mental clarity, 2 surprising health improvements my doctor actually praised, and 1 unexpected way my relationships became stronger, not weaker, when I started being selective about social time. Do you feel drained by social obligations? Let me know in the comments. You'd be surprised how many feel exactly the same way. Here's what's coming. Reason number 4 will shock you because it's the opposite of what everyone assumes. And reason number 6 will forever change how you view friendship and family relationships. Stay with me, because by the end, you'll have a completely new perspective on social energy and authentic living after 70. Energy becomes your most precious currency. Take Sylvia, a 72-year-old retired teacher. She was running herself ragged, trying to maintain the same social schedule she had in her 50s, weekly book club meetings she no longer enjoyed, family dinners that lasted for hours, and neighborhood gatherings that left her exhausted for days. Sound familiar? Here's what Sylvia and many of us don't realize. After 70, our energy works differently. Medical research shows that cellular energy production naturally decreases by 20–30 with age, while recovery time doubles. Yet, society expects us to keep the same pace. That's like expecting your phone to run all day on 30% battery. It's just not realistic. Sylvia discovered something I call the energy audit method. Here's how to try it. For 1 week, rate your energy from 1 to 10 before and after every social activity. Write it down. Sylvia's results shocked her. Certain people and events always drained her below a 4, while others boosted her to an 8 or 9. The game changer was learning to tell the difference between energy investments and energy drains. Energy investments are activities that might tire you initially but leave you fulfilled and recharged. Meaningful conversations, time with people who genuinely care, or activities aligned with your values. Energy drains, on the other hand, sap your energy without giving anything meaningful back. Gossipy coffee dates, obligation-based visits, or being around consistently negative people. Here's the simple script Sylvia now uses. I appreciate the invitation, but I'm being more selective about how I spend my energy these days. I hope you understand. No long explanations, no excuses, just honest, respectful boundary setting. The transformation was incredible. Within a month, Sylvia felt more energetic, slept better, and actually looked forward to the social events she chose to keep. She realized that protecting her energy wasn't selfish. It was essential to being present and engaged with the people who truly mattered. Think about this. Which activities consistently drain your energy? Your health stops being negotiable. Clarence, a 74-year-old grandfather, used to attend every single family gathering, even the drama-filled ones. His adult children would argue about politics, old grudges would surface, and Clarence would just sit there smiling while his blood pressure soared. Then something happened. During a routine checkup, his doctor noticed his blood pressure was consistently elevated. After tracking patterns, they discovered something fascinating. His blood pressure spiked in the 48 hours following stressful family events, sometimes taking a week to return to normal. Here's what many don't realize. Chronic social stress doesn't just feel bad, it damages your body. Research from Harvard Medical School shows that prolonged social stress can suppress immune function by up to 40% in adults over 65. It also increases inflammation, disrupts sleep, and can accelerate cognitive decline. Clarence learned two simple techniques you can try right now. First, the body scan check. Before any social commitment, close your eyes and mentally scan your body. Do you feel tension in your shoulders? A knot in your stomach? That's your body sending a warning. Second, the recovery time test. After a social event, Notice how long it takes to feel normal again. If it's more than 24 hours, that event is costing you more than time. The breakthrough came when Clarence began treating his health as non-negotiable. At 74, he couldn't afford to sacrifice well-being for politeness. He started skipping high-stress gatherings and only went to events where he could leave early if things got heated. The results? His blood pressure stabilized, his sleep improved, and his mental clarity sharpened. His doctor said something profound. At your age, stress management isn't a luxury. It's essential medicine. But here's what surprised Clarence most: his relationships didn't suffer. In fact, some improved because he was more present and positive when he did choose to participate. What social situations raise your stress levels? Pay attention to those signals, because the next reason is something most people never think about when it comes to relationships. Quality over quantity becomes crystal clear. Donna, once a social butterfly at 71, kept dozens of friendships, attended every invitation, and prided herself on being well-connected. But something felt wrong. Despite being surrounded by people, she felt lonelier than ever. The conversations were shallow, the connections felt hollow, and she realized she was spreading herself too thin. No relationship was getting her best. So Donna tried something radical: a relationship audit. She listed every person she regularly spent time with and asked herself 3 questions. Does this person genuinely care about my well-being? Do I feel energized or drained after being with them? Can I be my authentic self around them? The results shocked her. Out of 30+ regular social contacts, only 8 passed all 3 tests. But here's the beautiful part: when she focused her limited social energy on these 8 relationships, something magical happened. Conversations became deeper. Connections became richer. For the first time in years, she felt truly seen and understood. Research from Stanford University's Center on Longevity backs this up. Adults over 70 with fewer but higher quality relationships report 40% greater life satisfaction than those with larger, more superficial social networks. Why? Because at this stage of life, surface-level interactions no longer satisfy the deeper need for connection. Donna started using the 3-touch rule to evaluate friendships. Physical touch. Do they offer genuine comfort and hugs? Emotional touch. Do they really listen and empathize? Soul touch. Do they understand and accept who you truly are? Real friends score high on all 3. It wasn't always easy. Donna had to let some relationships fade, which made her feel guilty at first. But she replaced quantity with quality: longer, deeper conversations with her chosen few, instead of quick coffee dates with acquaintances. 6 months later, Donna felt more connected than ever. Her core 8 relationships evolved into what she calls soul friendships, relationships where both people can be completely authentic. When you invest deeply in fewer relationships, you become a better friend yourself, listening more, supporting meaningfully, and creating the kind of connection everyone craves but few cultivate. Which of your relationships energize you and which drain you? People respect you more, not less. This one surprises everyone. Russell, a 73-year-old retired engineer, feared that setting social boundaries would make people think he was antisocial. He worried his family would see him as difficult, that friends would stop inviting him, and that he'd end up isolated. But the opposite happened. When Russell began politely declining events that drained him and choosing commitments carefully, something remarkable occurred. He got better invitations. The invites became more thoughtful. People stopped sending him mass invites to big gatherings, and instead asked if he'd like to join smaller, more meaningful activities. His daughter, instead of expecting him at every family barbecue, started planning one-on-one dinners where they could truly connect. Why? Because when you respect your time, others do too. When you say yes to everything, you unintentionally signal that your time isn't valuable. But when you're selective, you show that your presence is a gift, not a given. Russell learned simple, graceful ways to decline. That sounds lovely, but I can't make it. I hope you have a wonderful time. No long explanations. No guilt. For close relationships, he'd say, I'd love to spend time with you, but large gatherings aren't working for me anymore. Could we plan something smaller instead? This opened deeper conversations and led to more meaningful connections. His nephew, who used to send generic group texts, began calling personally to plan things Russell would truly enjoy. Even neighbors, instead of expecting him at every community meeting, invited him for quiet porch chats. Most surprising of all, people started respecting him more. When someone protects their time, others see them as wise and discerning. They think, if Russell chooses to spend time with me, it must mean I'm worth it. The key insight? Respect is earned through boundaries, not through availability. Time becomes too valuable to waste. Lucille, at 75, had an epiphany. Sitting through yet another long community board meeting, listening to debates over park bench colors, she suddenly thought, I might have 15 good years left. Why am I spending 3 hours on this? That moment sparked what she calls her time revolution. Time perception changes after 70. When you're 30, a boring afternoon is just a nuisance. At 75, it's a precious slice of your remaining years. Lucille did something simple but life-changing. She calculated how much time she might realistically have left, around 87,600 hours if she lived to 85. Then she started evaluating every commitment with this question: is this worth 3 hours? Of my 87,600 obligatory visits with complainers? No long events where she felt invisible. No, but deep talks with her granddaughter? Absolutely. Quiet mornings reading in her garden? Essential. She stopped attending time-wasting events and began filling her schedule with meaningful activities. Instead of board meetings, she volunteered at the local literacy center. Instead of big, draining family reunions, she planned small, intimate dinners with relatives she truly enjoyed. She also set time boundaries. No more open-ended visits. Instead, she'd say, I'd love to see you. How about we plan 2 hours on Saturday afternoon? The shift was profound. Every moment became richer and more vivid. She discovered that when you treat time as precious, you naturally choose higher quality experiences. Most importantly, people started valuing her time more because they knew it was given willingly, not out of obligation. And now, the most powerful reason of all. Vernon, at 76, made a radical choice. He stopped living for other people's expectations and started living for himself. For decades, he was the good guy, attending every event, saying yes to every request, keeping everyone else happy while neglecting his own needs. The turning point came after a draining weekend filled with a nephew's graduation party, a church social, and a visit with a neighbor who only complained about her health. By Tuesday, Vernon felt empty and resentful. He asked himself a simple but life-changing question: when was the last time I did something just because I wanted to, not because someone expected me to? He couldn't remember. Vernon began what psychologists call late-life authenticity, honoring his true self after decades of people-pleasing. Research from the MacArthur Foundation on successful aging shows that seniors who embrace authenticity after 70 report far higher levels of life satisfaction and mental well-being. Vernon started asking, what truly brings me joy? What are my values, not what others expect? What would I do with my time if I stopped worrying about disappointing people? The answers surprised him. He loved birdwatching but always thought it was too solitary. He missed woodworking but had given up his workshop to store his daughter's belongings. He longed for quiet mornings but had filled them with obligatory phone calls. He reclaimed his workshop and started building again. He swapped gossip-filled coffee meetups for peaceful mornings of birdwatching. He stopped automatically saying yes and instead asked, do I actually want to do this? At first, the guilt was intense. Decades of equating self-care with selfishness don't vanish overnight. But gradually, something amazing happened. He became more vibrant, more interesting, more present. His conversations were about things that truly excited him. His relationships deepened because he was bringing his real self, not a polite fad. Even his health improved as he started living in alignment with his natural rhythms. And the most beautiful part, his authenticity inspired others. His adult children began examining their own lives, making changes to prioritize what truly mattered. Authentic living after 70 isn't selfish. It's essential. You've spent decades meeting expectations, taking care of others. This is your time to discover who you really are beneath all those roles. The truth Vernon discovered is this: you don't need to justify your choices to anyone. This is what works for me now is reason enough. So, what would you do with your time and energy if you stopped worrying about what others expect? That question alone might unlock the most fulfilling chapter of your life. Imagine the transformation when you apply all 6 of these reasons. Before, constantly tired, blood pressure spiking from social stress, surrounded by people but lonely, saying yes to everything but respected by no one, wasting hours on meaningless activities, living by others' expectations. After, energy levels restored, health stabilized from less stress, deep and authentic relationships with a chosen few, respect from others who value your presence, time filled with purposeful, joyful activities. And for the first time in decades, living authentically. And here's the beautiful paradox: when you stop living for others and start honoring yourself, you don't become selfish. You become your best self. You have more energy, you're better company, and you create richer, deeper connections because you're fully present. The people who truly matter will celebrate this change. Those who don't, that tells you everything you need to know. Which of these 6 reasons speaks to you the most? Share your experience with social boundaries after 70. Your story might inspire someone else.